This ain't clickbait. I'm actually going to share with you how to add $300,000 in net income into your business by doing training. Let's check it. So I want to hit you right out of the gate with one of my clientele who's doing very well using training inside of his company to add massive profits. And when I said $300,000 per month in net income from training, that's absolutely nothing to do with the rest of his business. That's just the profit from the training. All right, here's the legal disclaimer. I am not saying that you will make $300,000 in net income if you do training. It's how one of my clients is doing it, but I'm also going to share with you a few other clients of mine who are doing quite well with training, but not that well. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's get into what it takes to build a training division inside of your agency so that you can add massive profits to your business. One of the tough things about an agency is that it's labor intensive. And labor intensive also means margins tend to be a lot lower than they could be. There's been a lot of emphasis over the last decade on productizing the actual service. I don't want you to do that. A service gets commoditized very quickly if you try to productize it, so that's not going to work out very well. A service makes a lot of money because it's custom. You start removing the customization and it becomes commoditized, and it quickly becomes a race to the bottom where everyone else is trying to undercut the other person. You don't want to play in that game if you're going to be in a service. So let's add actual products inside of our agency so that we can increase our margins so that we don't have to add immense amounts of staff to be able to make a lot more money. So back to the client who's doing $300,000 a month in net income from his training company. I'm not going to tell you who he is because I'm going to share some insights into his business, and I do not want you running off trying to compete with him because I know there's a few of you out there who will try to do that. I want you to take these lessons and use them inside of your own business and make more money for yourself without trying to, take from one of my clients. Cool? Cool. So my client was a big fan of Grant Cardone. He looked at Grant Cardone's business and saw that he had this training product and he was selling sales training to car dealerships, and he said, I am going to replicate that in my industry. And he did. He just looked at what was in Cardone University and he said, I know all this stuff myself and I do it, but specifically for my particular industry. And so I know insights that a lot of people don't know in my industry because I've made millions and millions of dollars selling this product inside of my industry. So he created a sales training program and it morphed into a much bigger corporate training program, and I'll get into that in a second. But he built out this platform just by mimicking what was already successful by someone else. And he just started building this just a couple of years ago, and within a few years, he was up to $300,000 a month in net income. So how much is he charging? He must be charging a ton of money, right? He's charging $7,200 a year for 3 seats. That allows 3 people from the customer company to be able to use it. For bigger companies, they do just like over at Grant Cardone. For the larger companies in Cardone University, you pay more and more per person who's going to use this thing. My client, he just copied Grant. He charged more money for more people using it. And that's how he's able to scale up really fast, because the product itself is the same. It requires some support, it requires the sales staff, so those are the 2 elements that require human beings. But after the creation of the content, it just runs. The admin staff, they just add new customers into the platform, and off they go. If they have any questions, they contact support, and support helps them out, gets them through any part that they're having trouble with, logging in, all that stuff. questions about the content, they can answer some of that. And outside of that, it's hands off. His margins are approximately 85%. And I'm being really generous here because that includes overhead, that includes sales commissions, and it includes support staff, which isn't normal accounting way of figuring out margins, but I'm talking these are net income margins. It's crazy, 85%. So his business has been able to just take off due to this. So my client's able to achieve very high personal income because he created a product inside of his business to be able to serve greater needs than just the services that his company provides. Being able to add a product into your business can, not always, but can add hundreds of thousands of dollars per month in net income. Now I want to share with you another one of my clients to kind of bring this back down to earth. So a client of mine, Sean Davis, he was earning $25,000 per month doing training for his clients, but he didn't go anywhere. It wasn't a product, he just did webinars. He created the training and he provided this training through webinar live to his clientele. And it added $25,000 per month to his business, and it didn't take up a lot of time. About 2 hours a week were dedicated to putting on these webinars, about an hour of preparation time and an hour to deliver it. And that added a significant amount of revenue into his business by serving his already existing clientele. He did not go out and sell this training to people outside of the people who are already paying him money for his services. That's really important. Write it down. Pay attention to that. You can make a lot of money with very little effort by selling more to your existing clients. Anyone who's ever given you money, sell them additional training. So that wasn't all that Sean did. He used contractors who were certified in training in his industry, and he would send them to do on-site training, which brought in about $40,000 a month in revenue. He didn't ever have to go on site. Again, he was selling this to his existing clientele and sometimes using it as the front-end sales for new clients. He would send these trainers out to teach these brand new clients, and then those clients would want more from Sean, and then they would buy his services. So this can be a way of adding not just additional revenue, but also attracting in new clients who wouldn't just automatically jump into your high-priced services. They'll come in and test you out by seeing how good your training is. There's 4 basic steps. 1 is to identify your intellectual property. 2 is to codify it into a framework, into a structure, a system that someone can follow. The 3rd is to package it up in a way that they can easily consume it, that doesn't require a bunch of labor from you. And then the 4th one is, well, sell it. Just go out and start selling this thing to your current clients, your past clients, and anyone who could potentially become a client. That's it. Those are the 4 steps. So let's go into each one of those. Identify your intellectual property. That's your knowledge, experience, expertise. You've been doing what you do for a while now. It's given you some insights into the problems that your clients have that your services don't quite fulfill, but your clients still would like to know these things. They'd still like to be able to use them in their business, and they don't really want to pay you to do it for them. Codifying your insights, your intellectual property, is very desirable to your clientele. Codifying, that's a fancy way of saying systemize this. Create a framework around your intellectual property that makes it simple to go from point A to point B. A client is starting here and they want to get over here. So you help them make that little trip. That's all that is. You need to create a simple, easy to follow system so that your clients can consume your intellectual property. Now we need to package it up. Like my first client, he just used Lightspeed virtual training, which is crazy expensive, but he used it because, well, Grant Cardone uses it. That was it. That was all the thinking he did. He's like, I'm going to take this information, I'm going to record it on video, get some transcripts made, and then I'm just going to stick it inside of Lightspeed, and that's it. That's all I'm going to do because that's what Grant Cardone did. That's it. That's all the thinking he put into it. My other client, Sean, he used webinars, and then he would record those webinars, and those went into a library that people could consume. He had it inside of a membership site for his clients. In one of my companies, we're using Kajabi. I can't say whether or not I'm a fan of it. I don't use it. The founder of the company, he's the one who picked it. He likes it. He's putting our training programs inside of Kajabi. And it makes it super simple to add our clients into this training system that they're paying for. Another client of mine is using Teachable. It looks like a cool platform. I can't tell you whether it's good or not, but it looks like a cool platform, and it allows them to have their clients come in and use the training that they are selling. You can package up your intellectual property and your training systems in any way you want. Workbooks, actual physical printed workbooks. You can create video training that you put on a thumb drive and mail it to people. You can have them come into a membership site. You can do it on site. You pick the packaging type, not based upon your personal desires, but on the way your clients would like to consume it. An online version that doesn't require any human interaction is great when they just want to have their people get in, log in whenever it's convenient for them. And so that makes it convenient for you because you don't have to provide humans to educate them. But you can make a lot of money by actually having a human component because some clients are going to want to have a teacher. They're going to want to have personal guidance through your system. You serve your clients in the way that they need it, and you charge appropriately. If it's online, you can reduce the cost. If it requires a human, you increase the cost. If it requires a human to travel to a location, well, then you increase the cost even more. And your clients are going to be happy to pay it if that's the type of way that they wish to consume it. Now I want to hit you with something that might just blow your mind. You may get into doing training and find that you really like it, you really like the profits, you really like the fact that it doesn't come with all the headaches of providing your service, and you may switch over to being just a training company. A couple of companies that I know of, AJ and Smart, they were a product design company and switched over to being a design sprint training company. Another company that I've used, New Haircut, did the same thing. They were designing products for people, and they switched from designing products to doing training. But I highly recommend that you don't kill off your core service. I think what you should do is have divisions inside your company. Core service, training, and then maybe in another video I'll talk about group services, kind of a done with you instead of a done for you service that you're used to. So I hope you found this idea intriguing. I want you to add training into your business. And if you do wish to add training into your business, then like, subscribe, share, follow, do all the socials so that you can learn more about how to maximize the revenue inside of your agency. And I will see you right back here in the next video.